4 games since the last update. Lost, no we didn't, we beat Montreal 5-4, that was a fantastic game. 4-3 loss to the Sens in overtime, and a 2-1 loss to the Sharks. At the moment the Island's game is going on, I'll finish off talking about that later. I'm not going to talk too much about the games, I want to get through it quickly, it's going to be quite a long one otherwise. The Habs game. One thing I did notice during the first period with the number of odd man rushes that Montreal were creating, they seemed to always, whenever we turned it over in the offensive zone, they were always breaking with three plus players up the ice. It was incredible to watch really, and it was scary, Just thinking as you're going into the offensive zone, you're thinking don't turn that over, don't turn it over at all, because they're just going to fly up the ice, and they did it on a number of occasions, which they couldn't actually capitalise on, but it was quite amazing to watch. Malkin had his whole array of his skills out in the first period there, playing on all 3 zones, playing a good defensive game, good game through the neutral zone, and obviously in the offensive zone he's just incredible. But he also just got his hitting game out at one point. I think it was Kovalev he threw a massive hit at. They kind of bounced off each other, but it's good to see that Malkin's not afraid to throw his body about. First action of the second period saw the 2 Maximes going at it, Talbot and Lapierre. It was a good little tussle, and I think Talbot lost that one, but he lost to the bigger guy, and I'm happy actually that someone decided to stick up for the team, because Lapierre, I didn't see it before, but he appears to jab that butt end of the stick in on the end of the face-offs, and I saw him do it to Malkin a couple of times. It might be just sort of an illusion that it's not actually happening, but it does seem that he jams that stick in on the face-offs, which is a tad annoying. I have to say the Koivu's goal, I think it was to make it 2-1 when Pens were 2-1 up, 2 up, sorry, and Koivu made it 2-1. He got the goal, but I think Whitney can be quite disappointed. Sidor was chasing with Kostitsyn down into the right corner. Sidor lost the race really, but Whitney was still waiting at the other corner, waiting for the puck to be played to him. Instead, I mean I've never played the game, but I like to think I know it quite well. I think he should have been in a better defensive position. Okay, if Sidor does win the puck there, then it's a loose puck in the corner, but I'd rather have a loose puck in the corner than Sidor loses the race and is out front for that man, the following forward to put in the net pretty much. And that's what did happen, and it actually happened later on in the game for Ryder's goal, which I think actually deflected off someone else, but the same thing again. Whitney was waiting in that corner, maybe just needs to be on his game a bit better there. Malone got another goal this game, just lethal around the crease right now. He's just, the other teams are just going to start taking penalties against him, which is even better because they're going to see him in the crease and they're just going to start grabbing him, doing anything they can to stop him getting that puck. And it's going to be great actually going deep into the season, because teams are eventually going to realise what his game is and they're going to try and combat it. But there's not a lot you can do. It's fantastic to see. A great pass for the game-tying goal from Malkin's goal. He'd taken a bad penalty, he came out of the box and Malone fed him with a fantastic breakout pass straight up the ice, and Malkin came in on the goalie and wristed it home. Malkin took a bit of a pasting the whole game really, actually, just really taking a lot of hits and a few little bits of afters as well, but credit to him, he didn't let up, he didn't let it affect him too much, and he got on with the game. Fantastic game actually in the end, 5-4 when Habs came back, and then we got it back in front again, and the crowd really got into it after the Habs started looking like they were actually going to compete. It was a fantastic game and good stuff. I didn't see the Sens game, pretty much just disappointed to go from being 3-0 up, I think it was 3-0 up, and to lose, even though it's an overtime, is really disappointing. It's one of those things, you sometimes get a lead, and I've said it before, you get a lead, they start getting goals back, you just don't know how to turn it back on. You shouldn't shut off though, shouldn't shut off at all. You get 3-0 lead, you want to get 4, you want to get 5, you want to get 6, you just want to keep going. Obviously, you don't want to get too offensive minded and start giving up chances at the back, but you don't want to let off at all. Anyway, I didn't see the first period of the Sharks game either. I don't think I really missed anything. It was a pretty poor game for the most part. I thought actually Menard had a good couple of shifts early in the second period. Good on forecheck with Kennedy and created a couple of chances. After the second intermission, it was been a pretty dull game. Neither team really looked like getting anything. The goalies were playing pretty solid, but the crowd was so quiet. So quiet. It was, sometimes you do need the team isn't playing particularly in a particularly inspiring way, and so the crowd isn't up. But sometimes you need the crowd to get into it, just kind of get themselves going. The team then plays a bit harder. The crowd then gets up again. The team plays harder. It's a nice vicious circle. But when the crowd's quiet, the team doesn't get up, and when the team's not really playing in a particularly inspiring manner, the crowd doesn't get up, and that is a vicious circle. You've got two separate vicious circles, and the one that you can really affect is that one where you make some noise. Make some noise, team gets going. Make some noise. Eventually the crowd did get into it when the game got a bit more interesting. Chichu put the Sharks 1-0 up, then a bad penalty from Shelley gave us a power play, and Eric Christensen, EC, the former Penguin, now, he wasn't then, got the goal on the power play. His final goal for the Penguins, apart from the shootout goal later on in the game. Yeah, and the crowd got into it, and it was good. It was good for a short period of time, but for the most part it was a pretty poor game. Conklin didn't really look comfortable in the shootout. I'd much, you don't do it. I think I've heard of a couple of teams doing it previously, but I would have almost preferred to put Sabrin in just for the shootout, because I've seen he looks really good in shootouts. But Conklin didn't look comfortable. The Sharks scored all their goals. Rucci got a nice little goal, a nice move on his goal. And in fact, I said earlier Christensen scored in the shootout. He didn't. I'm pretty sure he missed there. As for the Islanders game, Nobutupui or Hossa were down 2 players. James and Smith were on their way but didn't make it. Penalties early in the first period, 3 in 3 minutes. Nothing else really happened. Game was a bit strange, really subdued atmosphere. I think it was just the whole trade deadline thing, and just got to everyone. It was just the crowd seemed really kind of on edge. They weren't really sure whether to make noise or anything. It's just a bit weird. But halfway through the first period, Sikora got just out of the blue really, Sikora got a shot on net. Malkin picked up the rebound and wristed it home. Not long after that, or in fact quite a while after that, late in the first period, Gonchar made a great play. I think it was Gonchar made a great play when we were on the power play. The Islanders got a short-handed chance of 2-on-1. He just drifted over and covered the spare man when they were approaching the goal, and left Conklin to deal with the man with the puck, and he made a good save. Seconds later, same power play, same thing happened again. This time it was Letang on defence, and once again he let Conklin take the man with the puck, and he made the save. Straight up the other end, drew a penalty and got on 5-on-3 and scored off that power play. Those plays by the defensemen are really underrated, and you should really remember those things. At that goal though, we're being outshot 22-6. I'm not confident. Conklin's doing a great job, and Fleury is probably better, but I'm not comfortable with him coming back and facing 20 shots in a period again. He's always been a bit dodgy with rebounds when he's not got his sort of game head on, and it's going to get nasty if we keep giving up that many shots. Nothing much to report from the second period. The Islanders got on the board and had actually quite a few more chances to do a bit more damage, but Conklin kept them out. Third period was just pretty much shot after shot on Conklin in the early going. Great move from Gino on the power play in the middle of the period. Danced through the Islanders D, but was stopped by Di Pietro. Not long after that, Stahl wristed home a third for the Penguins on a feed from Malkin when we had an extra man with a late penalty. A great fourth goal, nice rush from Whitney up the ice, and some good movement from Connor James to receive the pass, and a great move to score his first NHL goal. I'm not a big fan of Connor James. He's made a lot of poor plays in the appearances I've seen him in so far, but nice for him to get his goal, and he arrived late in the game. He came in during the second period with Smith after travelling up from Wilkes-Barre. So yeah, nice for that, for him to get his goal. Great scrap from Kennedy and Comrie right off the face-off after that goal. Kennedy holding his own there, really impressive. Second fight in a few games for him, so good for him. Islanders then got a goal back pretty much straight away on a power play, and the game was over pretty much by then though.